Welcome to episode 7 of Pigskin Over Pizza, a show where we talk about sports while eating and eventually reviewing a hopefully delicious pizza.
Can't see it at all.
I am your host, Casey, along with my good friend and co-host, Derek. The date is July 27th. Derek, where are we eating today?
Today we're having a fine establishment known as Vick's Gourmet Pizzeria in Reynoldsburg, Ohio.
Yeah, classic since 1961.
Now it's got the Casey goo all over it.
That was almost disastrous.
Yeah, that would have been fucking awful. It looks incredible.
It does.
It smells good. I think we're going to like this one.
I hope you're right. The only thing I'm really worried about is the sauce, because it's hard to see much of it. Like what I'm getting into, but besides that, yeah, it was real good.
It was kind of cheap too, wasn't it? $13 for a medium? Or is it kind of expensive?
Yeah. I think it's about average.
It's cooked nicely.
It is. Very.
See this light sauce situation?
It's looking pretty accurate.
Very light, yeah. It's going to bring it down a bit for me, but it's okay. That's very good. I'm excited about this. I'll hold off from here on out, but my initial reaction is that's good. Man, what's that remind me of? Kind of classic-y?
That's definitely in there. That's why I was making so many mouth noises, because I was trying to... There's something else in there too, though.
I wish I had more sauce. I feel like the sauce is a key component.
Maybe get one of these. Well, this guy was really saucy. Or maybe get one of these.
They very light sauce, almost none.
I gotta be honest. I think it's the perfect amount. And you know, when I say light sauce, a lot of time they do way too light. And I'm like, ah, shit.
I kind of like it when they do light sauce and they just don't do that. They just make it normal. I'm gonna finger this one.
Oh.
Sounds a little saucier. I'm gonna go over here.
Yeah, there's something else here. Definitely classic-y, but we're getting something else.
Like that for some reason.
No?
There's something about that bite that made me not unhappy.
Too much sauce.
No. Sauce didn't add anything, so it's... I don't think I like the sauce that much. I don't mind it. It's a little bit more pasty than it is saucy. It's definitely more of a paste. Yeah, I'm gonna withhold any more. That's good. It's definitely another pizza though.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I can't put my finger on it.
Maybe, can't remember. I was gonna make a joke that last place we had, but can't remember what it's called.
Papa Joe's?
Yeah, Papa Joe's.
Place wasn't good. I texted Sam on the way home and said that place sucked ass. Which is way worse a review than I gave it on here. It's gonna be one of those pizza places I give a review and I'm gonna go home like, we had the fuck, it was so good. But like I give it like a normal number because I think too much about it. There's something blandy about it though. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
On the podcast.
Classic.
That's
Classic
what it kind of tastes
sure.
like.
Should we get into some football?
We really are gonna act like nothing happened, huh?
Now it's too late for my fucking seamless transition. You just ruined it.
We took a break.
Yeah,
Just in
but...
case you had to get notes ready, we had to make sure the pizza was warm for the intro.
Wow. Seamless.
Seamless.
Speaking of seamless, what you got for football?
Well, Seahawks news. Training camp starts
Ooh.
tomorrow. Are we gonna do it with Seahawks now too?
No, I just wanted to see how you reacted.
I didn't like it. Camp starts tomorrow, which means from tomorrow until at least December, I have Seahawks things going on in my life every week, and I am very happy.
I'm happy.
Almost relieved.
Oh.
Is Broncos start tomorrow, or does it start today?
I don't know, actually. Let's see.
Oh, doesn't excite you.
I don't really care about the Broncos. Why he's looking at me?
Just waiting on you to get those dates.
I gotcha. So let's see. All right.
Okay.
They start July 27th today. There you go.
Nice. Seahawks news. Alden Smith is at training camp. Not sure how he's not in prison, but maybe something will happen there to where he isn't in trouble. So it wasn't as bad. I'm hoping that's the case because he could be a real help. But I also hope if he's a sack of shit, that he's not on the team. So hopefully that comes to light sooner than later. Not a lot in Seahawks world except for training camp. Alden Smith is there. Jamal Adams is at camp already. They said they aren't very close on a deal yet, but they expect one to get done before it starts, which would be tomorrow. I don't see that happening, but at least they expect it to be done. So I hope him and Dwayne Brown both get an extension in the next couple weeks. But if anything, you don't give up those kind of picks and not extend them unless you're just like really willing to admit that you fucked up that bad. But also, he's really good and just fuck it, pay him. And our defense was astronomically better with him on the field than off. So at this point, you've sunk in the investment. Just pay him. So that's news, but like not news because he's there. Outside of Seahawks, Chandler Jones, star pass rusher for the Cardinals, wants to be gone. That doesn't like how they've been treating him, which, thank God. That dude just fucks Russell Wilson in the mouth, like, pretty regularly. And honestly, it's getting a little gross to watch.
I was going to say, I'm kind of more interested now.
Keyboard just clicked it. Xavier Howard wants out of Miami. Obviously, he's going to go to Seattle, so that's big Seahawks news.
Obviously, he is.
Yeah, no questions. We're going to pay Jamal Adams a ridiculous amount of money and then pay Xavier Howard.
You have like inside sources here?
Yeah, trust me, bro. That's the source.
Oh, trust me, bro.
Randall Cobb is being traded. Well, the Packers are working on a trade for the Texans wide receiver, Randall Cobb. Getting the gang back together with Aaron Rodgers, who decided, you know what, I guess I will play.
Yeah, we talked about that quite a few times on here. I'm pretty sure you were the only person I talked to besides myself that thought he wouldn't go to the Broncos.
Yeah.
I think maybe Trevor said that when he was on here, but other than that, literally everybody I talked to, well, everybody said that he would leave the Packers, and most people said the Broncos.
Yeah, I
was
was
the only two that thought he would stay.
It was either that or retirement, and a couple of days ago was Aaron Rodgers is going to retire next week. It was the report, and I guess they spiced up the deal to let him play this year. And then next year they'll decide his future. I actually have a thing here. The 2023 year in Rodgers' contract, the last one in his current deal, would be voided. No tags allowed in the future. Packers would agree to review Rodgers' situation at the end of this season. Rodgers' contract would be adjusted with no loss of income to give the Packers more cap room. Mechanisms will be put in place to address Rodgers' issues with the team. So I'm assuming that's what Randall Cobb is. Get a 37 million-year-old receiver. Packers agreement to review the situation after the season implies the team will trade Rodgers if he still feels the way he feels about the Packers' culture and decision-making. So he'll play this year, and we'll see from there. I bet he retires. If anything, after this year.
It seems odd that he decided now because I don't know if you saw it 2 days ago. Devontae Adams said
he's done too.
Yeah, he said they broke off contract talks with the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's because of Aaron Rodgers. Maybe that changes now, like when he thought he wasn't going to be there.
They both posted the same Michael Jordan and I don't know, it was Pippen or Rodman or one of the boys from back in the day. Picture on their separately on their Instagram feed. So I'm assuming they agreed together or something. And but so Rodgers is back. We were right on that one. What other NFL news do I have? Oh, there's a spicy quarterback battle in Jacksonville between Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew. And in preparation for the battle, Gardner Minshew had quote of the year already, and the football season hasn't even started. You ready for this quote?
Yep.
In preparation for the competition, I haven't taken a shit in weeks. Number 2 isn't an option for me. That's the greatest fucking thing I've ever heard.
It'd only be better if he was calling Trevor Lawrence shit, but number 2
Yeah,
shit.
that would be even better, yeah. He's obviously going to be number 2, which is even funnier. So, that man is like the epitome of a frat boy, and I love it for some reason. I think that's all I'm sure there's more NFL news that you're about to hit me with, but that's all the stuff I had screenshotted.
So, we got some football news here. We got a lot this episode.
You've said that for both of them.
For both shows, you mean tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Do you have the Shaquem Griffin thing on there?
No. Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah, Shaquem Griffin's going to go to the Dolphins to stay in Florida with his brother, who's on Jacksonville. He won't make the team, I don't think. But that's the other little bit of news, I guess.
Gotcha.
Seahawks signed some other players, but they won't make the team either, so it's not even worth mentioning. All right.
Oh, you're good. So, this first one is actually IFL news. Go Wild Dogs.
Woof woof.
And then you say,
Woof woof.
Run Wild. The Frisco Fighters are back to their winning ways. They are now 6-2 for the second best record in the league. They won 33-30. Another actual fun game to watch against the Wranglers. So go Fighters, as we always say.
Woof woof.
And speaking of indoor football, did you see the trailer for this new Kurt Warner movie?
I don't like Kurt Warner at all.
Really?
Yeah, I actually hate him.
I've never met anybody who's disliked him.
I hate him.
What do you not like about him?
Almost everything. The way he carries himself, the way he speaks. I just don't like him at all.
Wow, that's exactly why I do like him. And
Yeah.
you don't like his story about
Don't care.
playing arena football and working
Don't
at a
care.
grocery store?
Don't care. Millions of those.
There's not millions of those,
There's a
especially
ton of, I had a normal job and now I was a quarterback for something, or I was a football player.
especially not to that level where you're in like the lowest league and working a grocery store, becoming a Super Bowl Hall of Fame quarterback. That's like a whole nother.
Yeah, he did better, yeah.
Well, you're definitely not going to want to see this then. I even think it looks kind of cheesy, but you know my love for indoor football. So that already got me excited. And it comes out December 10th. There's already a trailer for it. Definitely looks cheesy
Okay.
and over the top. I mean, his story is, I think, fucking awesome. So I think there's no way around the cheese, unfortunately. Yeah. And Zachary Levi is playing Kurt Warner. I think that's a good choice. I think
that's
he has
the Shazam guy, right?
Yeah. I think he has I know you hate Kurt Warner now. I realize.
Shazam, yeah.
Yeah. But
I could see that.
I like Kurt Warner a lot, and I think he's very charismatic and seems like a good guy. So I think Zachary Levi's a perfect choice for that. We'll see how the movie actually is, though.
You'll see how the movie is.
We'll all see it. So we'll do a get together.
I'll see it.
We'll do a get together.
I won't watch it.
Our fans, us, we'll rent out a theater. It's only $99. It is.
No, I know it is. It's just not worth it.
Okay.
I didn't finish the sentence.
That's not my fault, sir. Speaking of other football leagues, this is a couple weeks old now, but we haven't talked about it. We talked about the rumors of the XFL combining with the CFL, Canadian Football League.
I haven't heard anything about that.
Really, they announced a couple weeks ago, but I keep forgetting to talk about it. That's why I said this is going to be some big episodes here.
I'm here for it. Do you have a lot of things from last week that we missed?
Not in particular like last week, but
So just have this a big episode. All right.
Well, there's things from all weeks.
I'm glad.
So, because this is 2 weeks old at least.
I have to be home by 10:30, so
you'll make it. So, unfortunately, the talks fell through. So,
yes.
The statement from the CFL are talks with the XFL exploring the potential for collaboration and innovation have been positive and constructive. While we remain open to finding new ways to work together in the future, we and our XFL counterparts have jointly decided to not pursue any formal agreements at this time. or arrangements at this time. Sorry. We at the CFL, there's so many fucking leagues, are now squarely focused on preparing for August 5th and the start of our 2021 regular season, which will wrap up with December 12th with playing the 108th Grey Cup in Hamilton, Ontario. We'll be there. And we are looking forward to this year and a bright future for our league. So, I think, like I said, I wanted this to happen big time. I think there's too many leagues, and I think the more they come together, the better it is, especially for leagues that aren't as stable. I know CFL has obviously been around for a long time, but they had to take, a year and a half off, so I'm sure they lost a shitload of money, especially not being the biggest league to begin with. And then the XFL put out their statement. It says, while our discussions with the CFL did not ultimately lead to collaboration, the effort reinforced our belief and commitment to developing the XFL for international spring football. We look forward to seeing everyone for kickoff in spring of 2023. So there's a couple things there. A lot of people thinking the XFL will start in 2022. It's obviously not going to. It's going to start in 2023, which I think is a smart move, not combined with the CFL. I think that's why the 2022 was a possibility, because the CFL is not going to delay all the way till then.
Yeah.
But for a league that is essentially going to be starting up from scratch again, I think the more time you have, the better to prepare yourself for that. And then the CFL statement didn't seem as, I don't know the way to put it, doesn't seem as optimistic as the XFL, but the one that didn't caught my attention, XFL, when it says they reinforce their belief for international spring football, that tells me they don't want to just be the XFL, whether it's just they might talk to the CFL again or something else, because international obviously means something more than America. So, and there's only American teams in the XFL. So I think it's still a possibility.
Could very well be.
I hope so. And then I hope we get minor league NFL.
I don't think that one's going to happen, but I hear you. Because I'll play in it.
You will?
I'll just join up and play. Yeah, it's like a sign-up sheet, right?
You know, I'm proud of you.
Thanks, man.
Next thing I had was, yet again, why people should not do
drugs.
Fantasy draft this early. And that is Michael Thomas is expected to start, or he is put on the PUP list, right?
Physically unable to perform?
Yeah, I think it sounds cute. Pup.
Like a puppy?
Yeah, but he's expected to return to week 7, so that's a good portion of the season he's going to miss. So
pretty sure we play them at some point in time. I think it's week 7.
Yeah, I meant to put it in there. Either he comes back for, or expected to come back for the Seahawks game, or that's the last one he's going to miss, one or the other.
I think he's expected to be back for it.
Okay. So, in turn, the Saints signed Chris Hogan, which I think it's not like groundbreaking or anything, but I think it's a solid move for a potential replacement.
He's just he's a fill-in, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to replace Michael Thomas, but I think getting something that late out of nowhere isn't a bad guy.
Yeah, he's a Walmart clerk.
You know what he is? He's a PLL player.
Penis-loving loser.
Premier Lacrosse League. That's what he retired the NFL for. He started playing
I didn't know that.
Professional lacrosse.
I didn't know he was back in the NFL.
Yeah, he came back for this. So, and then he's still under contract with the PLL for 2 more years, so he's allowed to go back to that, which I'm guessing he probably will once he eventually gets cut by the Saints.
Yeah, once he realizes he won't have a quarterback throwing to him.
Which we'll get to lacrosse at some point on this show. Don't worry.
I'm sure we will. This show we will?
Yeah. Well, no, like our show.
In Pigskin.
Yeah.
In general, we'll get to it.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly. The Broncos put out their jersey schedule.
The fuck does that mean?
I
like when they're alternates?
Yeah.
No, not everyone has done that.
No?
Because some teams haven't decided their alternates.
Oh, no, I just mean like in general teams do this, I figured.
No, we haven't.
No, I mean like yearly, I figured. Do you not ever do it?
We do eventually. We haven't yet.
That's what I mean. Just teams in general do it. I
don't know that we do it every year.
No?
I think we do it weekly.
Interesting. I won't go over every week because obviously majority of the weeks are wearing the same jerseys, but the ones that aren't the normal orange or the normal white. So against the Raiders in week 6,
Is that
you
a
have,
Thursday night game?
I believe so. Just don't have the dates on here or the game. That's why I kind of had to count the jerseys. But they're rocking the blue jerseys. And then week 10, they're wearing their color rush against the Eagles.
That's probably the Thursday night game.
Yeah, probably since color rush. And then there's actually only 3 nights that they're wearing different jerseys. The last week of the season, week 17. Is that what that would be, or 18?
It'd be 18 now.
Yeah. They're wearing another blue jersey against the Chiefs to end the season. Oh, I'm stupid. The numbers of the weeks. I'm a silly little goose. Speaking of jerseys.
Speaking of jerseys.
We talked, I think, last week about this Browns tees.
Oh, yeah.
The mural.
I saw it.
Yeah, it's
Well,
what
I didn't
you
see
guessed.
the mural.
I didn't actually ever see it either, but it's what you guessed. They unveiled their 1946 throwback uniforms that they'll wear for 3 games, and they look suspiciously like Browns uniforms. The difference I noticed was this
The
white
numbers look
stripe.
stupid.
Yeah, numbers.
Did you see the sides of the helmet?
No. Is it that stupid little leprechaun thing?
No, it's worse.
What is it?
Black numbers.
Oh, my God.
Like it's not even in cool font. It's like the Alabama numbers, how it's just that shitty font.
How do they keep one downing themselves?
It's worse. Yeah, it's a worse jersey. Sorry, go ahead. You noticed the white strip?
That was it. There's not much to say about these.
The letters on the jersey, they added like an orange accent. Looks terrible. Their colors are shit. Like it's just hard to make those colors look good. I think the more white the jersey is, the better it looks.
Yeah.
Just because white is clean looking. My wife wants me to take the trash to the curb. White is really clean looking. And, it's just the less brown and orange you get, the better.
Oof. Good thing you added orange there. Want to get canceled. So,
I've already, I think, gotten canceled by individuals on the show like 3 times. So,
shit. I would never cancel you, sir.
Pretty sure we've had discussions where you've almost canceled me.
I would never.
Okay, it's good to know.
What's that?
That's good to know.
That's good to know?
Yeah.
Why'd you have to do it like that?
I don't know.
Okay. So, sorry?
I'm tired.
Good thing we got 2 long shows tonight.
Yeah, thank God.
So, I'm sure you heard that the NFL is requiring players to get vaccinated. Or
no, I didn't hear that.
Well, I was gonna correct myself. Oh, is that what you were being sassy? Yeah. Well, essentially they're requiring to get him anyways because they can fire him and let him go.
If well, they can't fire him. They can choose to, but like they're not going to get fired because they didn't. But they can choose to fire them.
I think
you don't get fired because you didn't do it.
I think certain people do if they consider it tier 1, because this says Vikings, not Rikins. Offensive line coach Rick Dennison, former Broncos coach, assistant coach, is out after he refused the vaccine. The NFL is requiring tier 1 staff, the player in closest contact with players such as coaches and equipment managers, to get vaccinated.
Okay, so maybe like the head. Okay, but yeah, he quit. He didn't get fired.
Yeah, so he would have gotten fired though because he's required to get it. So I think.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. That's interesting.
Yeah,
players aren't though. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're not required to get it, but they are gonna, if they're the ones that, if an outbreak happens and somebody's unvaccinated, then they get the potential to forfeit the game.
Yeah, they lose their game
checks. Or the NFL,
checks.
will forfeit.
Lose game checks, yeah. Pretty crazy. It's literally the same rules as last year, except it just, for some reason, people are making a bigger deal out of it. Maybe the tier 1s are more
Yeah, I don't think that was
now.
a thing.
But it's literally the same rules. There's rules. There's grounds that you could forfeit games. They were a little bit more lenient, I think, with rescheduling some teams last year. Not all of them, or making wide receivers play quarterback. But this year, I think they're sticking to their guns more and be like, "Oh, we're just going to forfeit the game." But I think it's the same rules for the most part.
Yeah, I don't think the forfeit was a thing before. And I thought it would suck ass, but I think that's a fair way to do it. And if they are going to do this forfeit thing, I think it has to be called completely fairly and not like last year where certain teams they can delay 3 weeks to get their top tier quarterback, and the other teams there's no possibility. Especially if you're going to have forfeiting, then I think it needs to be across the board even.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think I'm totally against that. But like I said, I don't think it would suck ass. But I think eventually you got to handle something like that if you want the season to flow.
Yeah. Or just come out and say that you require a vaccine. Don't tiptoe around it because they want to look good. Well, we're not requiring it, but if you don't, we're going to forfeit your team and cost you game checks. And if it's to you, we're going to fucking suck your asshole out, your soul.
How do you feel about the tier ones, whatever?
Makes sense to me. I feel like you should want to do it if your passion is the football or whatever. You're surrounded by people constantly. You're always with them. It'd be the same thing that. Look, all right. So the vaccine is like a whole nother topic, right? All right, look fat. The vaccine is like a whole nother topic. I don't even know where I stand with it. I haven't gotten it personally. I know.
I hear you.
I am scheduled to get it though.
I can lower it a little
because my wife gets sick very easily. So my dad is sick. So I don't think there's enough information out there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's new variants that the thing doesn't even cover. So it's like requiring the vaccine is tough to like sell. But if it lowers your chances and if it makes things flow better and there's no signs that people are dying from it, like if your passion is football, you should want to get it. And if you're the person who's in contact with the people the most, maybe they should have a requirement for certain people. So coaches, maybe that makes the most sense because you're interacting with so many different people. Maybe the refs or something. I don't know. So I'm fine with that. I don't know. It's tough because it's like a whole nother debate, you know, of like where you stand on the vaccine in general. And I'm like kind of like, yeah, I think it's a good thing, but I think there's still a lot of unknowns about it.
Oh no, that's kind of where I'm at. I think definitely any ref that referees in a game with Tom Brady should definitely have to get it because they're going to be talking players way more than any other game. All jokes aside,
did you have that joke in there?
No.
Okay. It looked like it was like prepped.
I was just waiting. I thought of it while you were talking, so I was waiting until you're done. So a little prep, but not a note in here. But on a more serious note, no, I'm about the same as you. The thing that I have an issue with is how people are reacting to the people that aren't getting it. More so, like talking about like they're idiot. Like
I hate social media again. It's just people are so fucking loud.
Like, did you hear DeAndre Hopkins said he's contemplating retirement?
But he deleted it, so he's also a pussy. So
I didn't see he deleted it.
I fucking hate DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, he's a giant bitch.
Yeah, but like that, I don't care about him either way. I'm not a fan of him. But people talk about how NFL players are the greediest and all they care about themselves and they'll do anything for money. And it's just all about money. And then when somebody's like, yeah, I'm considering getting rid of all this potential money because this thing, it worries me that much, even if I'm not that worried about it. Somebody like him or Rick Dennison's, obviously, if you're willing to lose millions of dollars in your career, then obviously they are more scared of it and think something of it. I think no matter how we feel about it, they should be able to feel their own way. So
I think they're more against people telling them what to do than they are worried about the vaccine.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it goes person to person. I know in general, the black population, I don't know if you've heard, they're a majority of people that won't get the vaccine because they've been misguided by the government so many times and mistrusted that there's a ton of black people that think it's like a actual.
I think there's a stat at one point that it was affecting black people more.
Yeah, that I did see that,
but I'm pretty sure it might have been a while ago too.
Yeah, I did see that. I don't know if that's true, but I definitely think it makes sense that they're the ones getting it the least and that they're the most hesitant to get it. And obviously, the majority of NFL is black, so I don't know. I think it's weird to criticize and make them look bad when, like I said, especially when the people are doing that, the main people talk about how NFL players, all they care about is money, and then when they're
that's an interesting take.
When they're potentially willing to give up all that, it obviously means something to them, even if you don't agree with it.
Yeah, I guess I take it a different way. I think it's more about them being told what to do and them not liking that.
I bet it is for some. I'm sure it's like everything. There's many different directions. I feel like some are definitely that way, and even if they are doing, are not wanting to do it.
I feel like the loud ones are that way. And then there's Cole Beasley. So, did you see his rant?
No.
You can keep telling your point. I'm just gonna look up Cole Beasley's rant. I don't want to have too much to say on this.
Yeah, I just think even if that is what they're doing, they just don't want to be told. People should be able to make whatever decisions they want, no matter how we feel about it or whatever. So even if that is what they're doing, they're willing to sacrifice millions of dollars in their career. So if they're willing to do that because they don't want to be told, then
that's how many? Only one person has said that though, and then he had deleted it because he's a pussy. The
Well,
coach is one thing.
Yeah, I said that's one for sure.
One out of the. I don't know. I feel like you're being, which is fine. I just feel like it's very. I think it's applying a very small portion to a very big crowd. But just because one coach that quit and one guy that deleted a tweet because he backed off of it.
Well, these rules just got put in place too. I don't think these are gonna be the last two. I think
They've
be
been
more
for a few weeks now.
We'll see. I bet there'll be more. And like I say, even if it's just one player, I still think, as far as the principle of treating people different and saying how football players are greedy and all they care about is money, and then they're willing to forfeit that, and then somehow you still make fun of them, I think is odd.
I just would like to see the NFL player that actually is willing to forfeit it. Because I haven't seen that. I haven't seen your point play out. So I have a hard time agreeing with it.
I guess there's going to be somebody, so we'll see.
Cool, maybe.
Maybe it won't be a top-tier player, and then maybe that will be a different point, but you're still going to be, if you're in the NFL, you're making decent money.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not fully on board with it yet because I haven't seen it yet. That's all I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing. I want to make that clear. I'm not trying to be argumentative. Cole Beasley seems like a piece of shit, by the way. Michael Irvin, if you're unvaccinated, that means you don't want to win badly enough. Cole Beasley. This isn't what I was trying to read, by the way. Ooh, I don't want to like it. Jesus. Get away from that man as much as possible. Well, of course I lost it, but... oh, that's not what it means. You can be vaccinated and not do all the right things football-wise to be at your best. Players are going to be out there with COVID, and we won't know because the NFL gets tested once a week, so the NFL can make their money. Pretty sure the NFL gets tested multiple times a day. This is just him battling people. His whole Twitter is him battling. He got wrecked. His view was awful. He's also a rapper. You can get his new album. Just came out in April. I'm so sorry. It's taking a little bit. It's coming. It's coming. If I can't find it in the next 20 seconds, I'll just stop. He might have deleted it, to be honest with you. The Players Association is a joke. Call it something different. It's not for the players. Everyone gives me the 98% of people who are vaccinated don't get COVID again. The odds of me getting in the NFL and playing for 10 years are lower than that, and I'm here. Okay. I understand why the NFL is doing this. It gives them back the freedom to make the most money as possible. Again, if everyone is vaccinated, I could see that push. They do more. But also there's a safety issue that I'm sure they're worried about, or they wouldn't have been willing to lose all the money last year. You can still pass COVID even if you're vaccinated. Okay, here we go. Look, I'm going to live my one life like I want to regardless. Hi, I'm Cole Beasley and I'm not vaccinated. I'll be outside doing what I do. I'll be out in public. If you're scared of me, steer clear, get vaccinated, point blank period. I may die of COVID, but I'd rather die actually living. I have family members whose days are numbered. If they want to come see me and stay at my house, and they are coming regardless of protocol. I don't play for the money anymore. My family's been taken care of. Find me if you want. My way of living and my values are more important to me than a dollar. It's fine. I love my teammates and enjoy playing ball because all the outside bullshit goes out the window in those moments. I just want to win the Super Bowl and enjoy these relationships. I'm not going to take meds for a leg that isn't broken. I'd rather take my chances with COVID and build up my immunity that isn't broken. What? Build up my immunity. Oh, that way. Eat better, drink water, exercise, and do what I think is better as an individual. That is my choice. I don't know if this is the quote, by the way. This is a big thing he posted. I'll play for free this year and live my life. He won't, by the way. If I'm forced into retirement, that's what he'll actually do. So be it. I'll enjoy it. I get to live freely with my wife, kids, and extended family forever. That's where I stand. That's not the right quote, but kind of a point. Kind of where he's at. He just, I think the big thing is he kept saying things like, I'm going to go do this stuff regardless. I don't care if they get it or I get it. Like, it's not going to make a difference if we're vaccinated or not. It's just like ignorant shit like that. Like, oh, people are just going to come do it no matter what, so fuck it, I'm just going to do it. So he took the ignorant stance and laid on that pretty hard. Well, if you get COVID no matter what, then why fucking worry about it? So, very interesting. He's an interesting person. And he gets roasted for... That was in June. And everything else was just months of him having to fight people on his tweet. Because maybe there were some points in there that are fine. Definitely an ignorant undertone. So.
That's your guy.
I don't like him. But he is a rapper. April 26th. His new EP.
See, you're fucking plugging him.
Mm-hmm. It's called Beasley's World. I don't know if that is actually what it's called.
Speaking of world, so Oklahoma and Texas have left the Big 12.
So now they're the Big 10.
No, and the reason I say world is because...
It was a perfect segue.
Bingo.
Yep.
They're applying to be in the SEC and beginning in July 1st, 2025, which seems like a fake number, but sadly isn't that far away. But also, what are they going to do in these next 4 years? Do they just do the Notre Dame thing where they're not in a conference?
Probably. Just live the Notre Dame dream.
That's some bullshit.
Make their own conference with Notre Dame.
I wish, because Notre Dame just had a fucking free ride. It is fucking nuts what they get to do. What do you think about this?
Nah, I don't care.
You don't care? I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I think both of them join the SEC, a conference that everybody already says is stacked and gets way more attention. I don't think it's good for any other conference. And
I don't think it'd be good for Oklahoma and Texas. They're immediately they were fine in the Big 12. They were doing really good in the Big 12. I think they're going to be lower tier in the SEC. They'll always have to combat with the better teams in the SEC.
I'm just wondering more so what this means for college football in general, because is there's going to be the Big Ten versus the SEC soon? They're just dwindling away on all these conferences.
Worry, they have 10 billion more conferences.
They're dwindling away fast, though. I mean, they have other ones, but they just keep getting less and less known because every big team keeps leaving. And Texas actually hasn't been good for a while, but the name is still gigantic. Getting somebody like Texas would still be huge. So I don't know if the Big Ten is going to try and fight that. There's rumors of them getting Kansas, which wouldn't do much for football, but would be huge for basketball, obviously. Because obviously the conference is a whole, not just football. But, yeah, I'm wondering what happens in these 4 years if they just float around. And I'm wondering, big picture, what this means for college football and conferences in general.
Yeah, it probably means some sort of rule change eventually to where when and if you can leave. But I don't think it would change it that much. Scheduling will get a little different.
Not just those two leaving. I just mean the biggest names just leaving these conferences. I don't see how it couldn't affect college football in a big way. Especially, this is still 4 years till they potentially join it, which is weird to think about. So by then, there's going to be so many moving pieces, and the Big Ten trying to probably counteract that.
Yeah, I'm sure the Big 12 will get more teams to fill those voids. And
I don't know if they will, though. That's why I think it just seems like the Big Ten and the SEC, maybe they'll get smaller schools, but they're not going to be able to get somebody as big as Texas and Oklahoma. So, and my guess is the Big 12 eventually is going to dwindle away like a lot of conferences have lately. But I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. And the SEC is good. I like to hate them. I make fun of them. But I think they definitely get too much credit. I think there's like even the fucking lowest tier teams in the SEC get more credit than a really good Big Ten team, which I think
there's
is
a shitload of teams in the SEC.
Yeah.
Most of them are bad.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. There's some, obviously, the top tier are really good. I'm not going to argue that even if I hate them. But yeah, there's so many bad ones. I think
the normal argument should be I think there are more quality teams in the SEC compared to the other conferences. But the SEC is also huge.
Yeah.
Like the Big Ten has
12 now.
12.
Yeah.
I was going to say 11? 12.
I think 12. I could be
like
wrong.
2 of them are consistently good. The ACC has 1 that's good all the time. And that's just the past whatever amount of years.
Yeah.
The Big 12 had a couple, and that was good. And so it's just, I think the SEC just has more, but they also have like a shitload more schools. So I think it's the only reason why they have more quality. Because they have more quantity.
Yeah.
That's the argument I make. I think that's from a sane SEC fan.
Not arguing with you because I agreed. But I would say Ohio State. The Big Ten consistently has 3 good teams. I think they kind of rotate, like Ohio State, Wisconsin, Penn State, Michigan sneaks in there sometimes. I think there's consistently at least 3 really good teams, like top tier teams. I haven't
seen Penn State do anything like significant in a while.
They were awful last year, but I think before last year they were consistently near the top, like near playoffs. I had to go back and look, but I think and that's what was so weird about them last year. They fucking fell apart after being so good for so long.
For a little while. Yeah, I don't know. The consistency, I think there's consistently, like, more the years than not, you'll get good teams out of, like, 6 or 7 SEC and, like, 2 in the Big Ten. And Wisconsin is usually pretty good. Penn State has their years. Michigan hasn't been good since Harbaugh. Yeah. He's done so bad and it's so awesome. Because he's also a 49er guy.
Speaking of Jim Harbaugh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I wish this was is this an actual thing?
It is.
Nice. I hate him.
Good. You want to hear what his quote?
Yes, his quotes are great. He's also a psychopath.
Yeah, the whole press conference, I thought maybe it was just a quote. The press conference is worse if you watch it. He said...
I've seen a few of his. He's an idiot.
He said, we're going to beat Ohio State or die trying. So
that's all that they care about. Nothing else matters to
I think they're going to die trying.
Probably. So Ohio State has other things to do, like win national championships, go to the playoffs. Jim Harbaugh and Michigan only care about beating one team in the regular season.
You know, there's this weird thing Michigan fans do, though, that they say they don't care about Ohio State. Their real rivalry is Michigan State, and nobody in Michigan cares about Michigan.
They say that to ease the pain.
I know. I'm glad you recognize that.
Yeah,
which is funny because they're not much better than Michigan at beating Michigan State either.
I think Michigan State has been at least better more often than Michigan has lately.
Oh, they have, and they beat Michigan State, I think, once since he's taken over. So, yeah, they've done a little better against Ohio State. But, against Michigan State.
He's the Jeff Fisher of fucking college.
Yeah, the whole press conference watching it was just kind of cringy. I was like, how are you doing this right now?
I feel bad for him.
A little bit, but then he just gets so arrogant out of nowhere that I'm like, fuck this guy.
Yep.
You want to hear something crazy?
Sure.
I know there's a lot of just things like products that weren't around and stuff the last time Michigan beat Ohio State.
Oh, sure.
This was one that kind of caught me off guard. This was because the NBA championship was going on. It says, Chris Paul was a 15-year-old sophomore in high school. My man couldn't legally drive yet. He's now a 36-year-old NBA legend.
Yeah,
I was like, holy fuck.
Last week we were talking about how I was like, oh, yeah, Chris Paul's been in the league for a million years. I hope he wins. That's funny. Yeah, I hate Ohio State with a burning passion, but even I understand that Michigan's just so fucking stupid, and it's not a rivalry, and it matters so much to them, and they want it to act like it doesn't so bad. And I think at this point, Ohio State fans just like, yeah, we get to beat Michigan again and then go to the playoffs every fucking year.
Yeah, and it's going to suck because you and me being an Ohio State fan, they're going to beat us just a matter of time. No matter even if we have a great year, it's just bound to a slip up or they're better than us.
And you'll never hear
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, it's going to have Browns fans, and I know that day is coming. It's just a matter of when. And then every year they think they're going to, like the Browns fans, this is our year, so no matter when it happens, they're going to be right because they've said it every year.
Yeah.
So
unless it never happens, Browns fans. Yeah, no, even every dog has his day in college.
Yeah.
Penn State shouldn't have won that one time a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
In Penn State. Fucked the whole season up.
Yeah, they've done it to a couple times, unfortunately. Usually at Penn State.
And it's usually raining or something fucking crazy.
No,
that's awesome. Anytime Harbaugh looks like an idiot, I'm down to hop on that train, even if it means I have to hop on Ohio State for a little bit.
Yeah, you should watch the whole press conference and you enjoy it.
I haven't seen one in a while.
It was bad.
His Niners ones were rough.
Sticking to Ohio State just for a little bit longer. I know you're not a fan.
Okay.
But
I'm probably going to hop off now, though.
Okay, no, that's fine. I think you'll still be impressed. Ohio State now has the top recruiting class in 2022 in basketball and football, which I thought was fucking nuts. Football is not that surprising, but basketball and having them in the same year is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's also...
They're pretty consistent in football, right?
They're
always in the top.
Yeah, they're always in the top 5, but not always the top 1. And then to have both is... Or number 1, not top 1.
Yeah. No, yeah.
And then just one more thing on that. Their top 10 recruits they've had in their history, 3 of them are in this year. So number 1, that was in 22. Their number 1 recruit of all time, like highest rated
ever,
and in Ohio State history, is in the 2022 draft. That's where I got mixed up. Okay. But then this year, 2021, is number 4 and 5 in their history. Or so the next 2 years.
So they'll be in this team, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those 2 will. The next guy will be in the next team.
Okay.
So yeah, I messed up a little there, but I think you get the point.
I do know.
And that's so crazy because no matter how you feel about Ohio State, obviously they've had crazy players. So to have the top 3 in the next 2 years is fucking nuts, and the top 1 ever. But we'll see how it actually happens. Obviously, top recruits don't always end up being the best players.
Yeah. Bad recruits can be good. Good recruits can be bad.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they'll be good, as all Ohio State players are, it seems like.
So a couple of fun things that you'll like before we get out of football.
I've liked everything so far.
Oh, okay.
I have a Jags thing at the end.
Oh.
Yeah, it's something we can all participate in, too.
Oh.
Me, you, the fans.
Is this going back to the Jaguars?
No.
Okay. Once you said the fans, I was like, uh-oh.
No. You like how I haven't said that word yet, though? Like, at all, since we've been together? I've either said Jacksonville or Jags.
No, just let it be, man. Oh. Be you.
Be you.
Didn't you see in the comments? I said to Trev Dog.
The Trevster.
Yeah, Golden Retriever.
Golden State Trevors.
I told him that Jaguar seems to be a regional thing, and Midwesterners say Jaguar, so maybe I'm safe to say it.
Isn't that what I was arguing last week, that some people in different areas just say
Well, yeah, you were in general, but the Jaguar one, I don't think that was a Midwestern thing.
I think that's what Warsh is, too.
That one is, but
and
I try to get
Mario.
away from that.
It's a regional thing.
That one, that's just assholes on the East Coast. Just
but it's a regional thing. We're the assholes in the Midwest.
Well, yeah, but like I said, that one you can't argue because his name's Mario. Like in the game, he says it's me, Mario.
But you can argue that's Jaguars, not Jaguars. It's the same stance.
If the creator said that, then I'd be like, all right, then it probably is that.
But then we're just the assholes in the Midwest that say wires instead of wars.
You said you didn't want to talk about the Jaguars.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Jaguars.
Jaguar.
So hopefully you didn't see these. These are just some fun things I saw. So
I probably did. I'm just terrible at screenshotting. I try to remember, but I really am bad.
Well, these were just like fun stats I saw on the NFL page that they were sharing.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, we'll see.
So this player has never dropped an end zone target in his career.
Tyler Lockett.
Bingo. Did you know that, or you saw that?
I did know that.
Okay. So.
Is that fucking crazy?
Oh yeah, that's why I saved all these. These were all in. So I was like, what the fuck?
That is nuts.
So the most games with 400 plus yards since 2016. So like 400-yard passings in different games.
Passing.
Most, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, 400 pass yards. If I didn't say that.
Since 2016.
Mm-hmm. Who is that quarterback?
Most 400 yards. It's not Mahomes. It wouldn't be Allen. He's too young. It's not gonna be Rodgers because he's efficient. 26. Russell.
I wouldn't have guessed if that helps you at all. Maybe that confuse you more, but
Brady. Deshaun Watson.
No, Dak Prescott.
Oh. Damn, I was on the right path though, I feel like.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. He has crazy good fantasy games.
Oh yeah, I know he does. I would put him not mid tier, but I wouldn't think about him in like probably top 10 when I was thinking, just like offhand. If I was ranking, I might, but if I was just thinking, I'd be like,
going through
yeah.
it, top 12
So,
probably.
This player holds the NFL record with 25 60-plus yard touchdowns. Who is this player?
60-yard touchdowns?
Yeah, 60-plus.
Is this like in recent time, or is this just of all time?
It says holds the NFL record, so I think there's nobody in the history that has it.
Are they more recent or older?
Oh, yeah, they're more recent. Player is
Stephon Diggs.
Deshaun Jackson. So
That also makes sense.
yeah, I would never guess that, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that was all I had for those. I did see this crazy ass thing. This is another thing I know people break down a lot, but this was one of the crazier ones I saw. So Patrick Mahomes' contract is a 10-year, $500 million.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to hear a breakdown of what he makes every year and every day and all this?
Oh, did someone do this? Okay.
Yes, I know people do this all the time. This is the craziest one I've seen. So I just deleted it.
Oh,
That's what I did. But we're gonna get to it. Yeah.
Deleted folder.
I just can't. I clicked on us. Where is it? It's gone. There we go. So his contract is $503 million for 10 years. In a year, he makes $50.3 million. In a day, he makes $137 million or thousand. Sorry. Yeah, no, that math wouldn't add up. Every hour, he makes $5,700. Every minute, he makes $96. And every second, he makes $1.60.
That's crazy.
Yeah, which is fucking nuts. And it's also weird to just break things down like that, because obviously if you do the math, it makes sense. But if you like just hearing $1.60 every second, that's not that much money. But then when you really think about that, it'll just amplify so fast. Yeah,
it's a new video game every minute. That's crazy. Yeah, that's nuts. I think going back to that Tyler Lockett thing, that's so incredible. Have you seen a lot of his end zone targets?
I've seen some.
Most of them are the toe tapping, barely fucking catching it, and the fact that he's never dropped one of those in the end zone is mind boggling. I love Tyler Lockett. I think he's like a top. He's super underrated.
Would you suck his dick?
I would suck any dude's dick, but I ain't gay. He's got to be in the top. He's in the top. He's probably not the best route runner. He's super consistent on catching. He had 10 touchdowns last year. I don't know. He's super underrated. He's probably the top 10.
You put him in the top 10, but would you put him in like the bottom 5?
That's an interesting thought. No.
All right, we're gonna have to debate that sometime.
Okay, we'll talk about it on the podcast.
I hate you. So, the last bit of football news is some sad news, unfortunately. We've been doing that every week recently. We talked about last week, Greg Knapp, the bike accident. He passed away on Thursday. Yeah. So, unfortunate there.
Yep.
Nothing to add, obviously, just sad news.
Yep. That's sad.
And then we can talk about soccer.
Sure, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So, last time we were on here, the Crew had played 13 games, 5-5-3 for 20 points, in 6th place in the East.
Which is good for the playoffs.
That is, yeah.
Yep. That was a question and a statement.
You know what? That's why I appreciate you, because sometimes you're a question and you're a statement. You know what I'm saying, brother?
I hear you.
And what are you doing?
I'm going to see if that fit over the mic.
It fits over my ears being blown out. That's what just happened. Oh, we keep them over here, so that way.
Oh, I gotcha.
Okay. But anyways, now they have played 15 games and are 6-6-3 for 24 points and moved up one spot to number 5.
Gotcha.
They had an exciting 0-0 tie against Nashville, and then they won 1-0 against Atlanta on
Atlanta.
ABC, nationally televised in Atlanta. There were 67,000 people there. They said that at least 12 times.
Okay.
And Crew fans, somebody had a great tweet that said, the Crew played a great game, but I'm really confused how he won because they had 67,000 fans. I was like, because that's just all the commentators were focused on for Atlanta. They weren't talking about their players or how good the goalie was.
Gotcha.
I was like, that's pretty funny. I recognize how they were oversaying that, but that is a funny tweet. Some more sad news we didn't talk about last week that relates to the Crew. Bismarcky died.
Does that relate to the Crew?
Yeah.
Loosely, I'm assuming.
Yeah, loosely. Well, loosely-ish. They have
So it doesn't relate at all.
No, it does. They have the chances, in the Nordeck, in the songs they sing.
They sure do.
And one of them is "Oh Baby Crew."
Oh my God.
And when they were saving the Crew, they even got Bismarcky to record a video where he's saying, "We got to save the Crew," and you could tell he's just fucking gone. But
yeah,
it was awesome. And rest in peace, Bismarcky. Might put in the end of the video. They had a great chant, and we're all singing it.
You should.
It's gonna be awful if you listen to this on audio, because it can be just,
Yeah, fuck it.
I would put it here, but that'd just be too much. And then the last thing. That's not the last thing I had, you silly man. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay. Lucas Zelarayan. You know him?
Mm-hmm. Big guy. Big Crew guy.
He's pretty. Oh, I was gonna say he's pretty small, but
big Crew guy though.
Oh, you are.
No, or he is. Like he's like a big around the Crew area.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
So
all the people that follow the Crew know him.
That's true.
Like
so he set the Crew record already. We're less than halfway through the season for most free kick goals at 4, and the league record is 6, and we are, like I said, not even halfway through the season. So pretty crazy feat there.
Nuts. Feet. Oh, baby Crew.
Damn. You need to come to a game. You got it, kid.
I've been to one.
Well, I'll show you the way.
Okay. We'll talk about it on the podcast.
We're on it. You want to talk?
Oh, I'm good. You can talk.
The Crew are unbeaten in their last 5 games. Their last 10 games, they have 19 points.
What a funny way to word that tweet, or to word that. They're unbeaten in the last 5 games?
Yeah.
How many have they won in the last 5 games?
They've won...
1?
2.
It's just a funny way to word it, because I hate ties.
Oh, I'm with
No,
that.
I know. It's just a funny way to word it.
Yeah.
I know you didn't, but...
But no, that is a really impressive stat. They've had 1 loss in their last 10 games.
Yeah.
So, it is crazy.
It is. I'm not taking it away. I just hate ties.
You know who was at the Crew game in Atlanta?
Not. That was fucked up. Who?
That was going to be dark. What was
that?
It
was. We don't need to say it.
We'll talk about it on a podcast.
Yeah, we're on it. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, please. What were you going to say?
Did. Go ahead. We'll talk about it on the podcast.
Okay. Kanye West was there.
I love Kanye West.
Do you actually?
I do like Kanye West, yeah.
Do you want to see what this man dressed like?
Sure.
To watch a soccer game?
I bet it makes sense. Yeah, that adds up. Is that really him?
Yeah. And I questioned if it was him, but then his story that day was him at the game. I don't know why he was doing that.
He's a guy. That's
so
for
he
sure.
got to see the Crew win. I think that's what he's there for, judging by his outfit.
Yeah, he looks like he's definitely not there to rob it. That's for sure. You should put that picture up for sure.
I'm gonna try and
have to remember to do that.
The only other soccer news I had: the U.S. won again.
Yeah.
In the Gold Cup, beating Jamaica 1-0.
Yeah.
Jossie Zardes set up the goal. Another assist from a Crew player. More bad news for the Crew though, because that means he stays with the national team, and he's one of the best players in the country. But like I said, good and bad. Sod. They play again against Quator on Thursday. Go USA. Right?
Go America.
Go America. And then we can get some baseball.
Baseball. Cleveland Guardians. Official.
We're starting with that, huh?
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to my mind before I even pull out my phone.
Okay.
What do you think?
I have some thoughts.
I know you do. I know you do.
So,
I also have thoughts.
I have thoughts on thoughts.
I am a thought.
That's what I was talking about, my guy. So obviously, my overall view. I don't think they should ever change it.
The Indians in general.
I fucking hate them. I hate Cleveland. I think a fair compromise, even though I knew they would never do it, would have been the Tribe. I know you said you agree with that, but I knew that
There's
wasn't going to happen.
two other ones that I remember now that I thought they should have changed it to.
Let's hear them.
Fuck. Wild Things
Oh my
would have been
God.
fucking sweet. The Tribe, and then there was what was the other one? The Rockers.
Yeah, I didn't really like that one. It's way too close to the Rockies, which is already
That is
thing.
close to the Rockies. But I also am in the stance that I like the Guardians, and I said that last week, so I would have been cool with any of those.
So here's my thing. These statues and the idea of it, I can admit, is cool, but we're all acting like we know who these statues are and there's some deep heritage. You know as well as I. People are, yeah. You can find countless articles, not just people talking on Twitter. And I think, wasn't you last week? You said, I think there's, I can't remember what it is, but there's like a deep connection to it.
No, there's a bridge connection to.
Yeah. And they're the Guardians of Traffic. And I was like, that sounds
Yeah.
pretty dumb. The look is cool. I can admit that. But yeah, everybody talking about like there's some deep connection to Cleveland with it. I've been to Cleveland countless times. I don't remember seeing these things. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought they were made up things. I didn't know they were. But I'm not a Clevelander, so I don't die Cleveland. Sure, people that die Cleveland know about them.
Do they though? Because that's my next point. You know as well as I do. People from Cleveland don't shut the fuck up about the dumbest things. I've never heard anybody talk about these Guardians before.
They didn't need to. Now they need to.
But if it's that deep, you don't need a team to tell you that. You should know that. I saw this great meme.
I don't look too much into it. Wing Guardian. That's funny.
Right?
That's really funny.
I didn't get enough credit. I thought
Yeah,
you
that
like
should
that.
also be up on the screen.
And I try and remember to put it there.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
So, with saying all that, if we're just judging the name purely by the name,
Let's say it's the Milwaukee Guardians.
I think that doesn't sound as good. But
I thought it sounded better for some reason.
really, I think
Yeah.
the Georgia Guardians would sound good. The G's, but I think a C sounds better with it.
It does, doesn't it? Gar. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you're good. I think if we're pushing all that aside, I think Guardians is a better name than the Indians, just
Oh, do
name
you?
for name. But I also think Guardians is not a great name. I think it sounds very minor league. I think the logo looks even more minor league than the name sounds.
Is that your thoughts on it? All of them? Before I start I have a bad problem just jumping in, so.
That's my thoughts. Fuck Cleveland.
I'm in the stance that I like the name Guardians. I don't mind it. It does feel a little minor league, but man, the minor league names are so much worse, as we pointed out last week. And I don't think it's that much worse than some of the other names that are in baseball. I mean, there's some awful names in baseball. So, I just don't like the logos. I think they're there's a shop here in Ohio. It's a local store. I think it's in the mall. I think they might have their own place.
Where I'm from.
Where I'm from. Thank you. They are making designs of the Guardians, and they look fucking incredible. So much cooler than what the baseball or the C's on the looks awful. I like the name Guardians. I don't like the design. I hope they realize that the design team sucks and hire someone else. But I think the word Guardian looks fine across the jerseys. I think the color scheme works, and they're keeping the same font. And I think it works. So a lot of people are like, it still has the ENs, like Indians. You know what I mean? So it's like they're keeping the tradition there a little bit. I'm like, I don't think they thought about that, but I'm cool with you thinking that if you want. I think they just had some names in mind, and Guardians was one of them. Yeah, I think it's pretty epic. I think it's pretty cool. So, again, I care about, and this is what it came down to even with the whole Seattle thing, too, with me. I care about the city and the team more than I care about the name, so you gotta change it. Guardians isn't that bad, so. They're fucking way better than the Spiders.
Oh, yeah. I think epic's probably the last word I'd use to describe it, but to each their own.
The idea of Guardians are kind of badass. And the statue, like the idea is epic. A bridge guarding traffic is not very cool. Don't get me wrong. The idea of the massive Guardians, though, is badass and epic.
Did you watch the intro video?
I did. With Hanks?
Yeah, that I like Tom Hanks
incredible.
as much as anyone, but Cleveland always hypes up about their hometown heroes, and Cleveland Knight. What the fuck are they? Cleveland Knights? I don't know.
I don't know, sure.
And then you just hire like the most well-known guy. You could have gotten so many people from Cleveland to do that,
Like
and you
Drew
just get
Carey.
Tom Hanks. Yeah. So
I thought
fuck
it was
that.
incredible. You didn't think it was cool?
no, it pissed
Oh.
me off.
I,
was like-
think if you could step back outside of your hate, you would realize it was a pretty cool video.
I don't think I could because, like I said, Cleveland Knights, we're gonna call them, are all about their city and sticking to Cleveland, and then you just get like the biggest name.
The Cleveland Knights didn't hire them. The Indians,
Yeah, but you can still
team.
criticize it, and
the Guardians team.
you can still criticize it, and I don't see any Cleveland fans doing that. Why wouldn't you think they'd be like, what the hell?
'Cause it
We're
was
Cleveland.
They didn't say we're making this video from the heart of Cleveland, from the heart of a Clevelander. Here's a cool video. They don't need to look into it anymore.
I don't know. I think if it was a crew video, I'd be like, oh, it's cool. You got Tom Hanks. But then I'd be like, wait, what the fuck? Why didn't they get somebody from Columbus? Why do you need
They
Tom
don't
Hanks
need
to do that?
Because Tom Hanks is awesome.
That's
His
what I'm
voice
saying.
is
Even if
great.
it was my team, I don't think I'd.
Really?
Yeah.
They got for the Seahawks Broncos Super Bowl intro. They had fucking Kurt Russell.
Well, that's different because you have both teams, so it's not like
It was
you
fucking
can't pick
awesome.
somebody from Denver or Seattle.
You could pick one from each. Why didn't they do that? You're not irate about that?
I think it'd be kind of odd to have two, but still, that's a nationally televised game where it's not like the introduction to your team to the city and your brand new team.
If it was based like, oh, we're doing this, I just think if it was based out of something differently, it would matter. But as an introduction video, I don't think it matters. It's like hiring any well-known actor to voice over something.
Fuck it.
You just don't like Cleveland that much, I think.
No, I don't like Cleveland, but like I said, I could judge it from him
You
doing it.
wouldn't get a little hyped over a Tom Hanks Columbus Crew video?
Like I said, I would think at first, oh
Like
shit,
a
it's Tom Hanks.
Denzel fucking.
But then I'm like, wait a second, what the fuck? We have so many people from Columbus, and the crew and people from Columbus are so enthusiastic about being Columbus and
But it's not Denzel Washington.
no.
Tom Hanks.
And then you know what I would think? I'd be like, Denzel Washington probably figured out who the crew was when he read the script, and he's like,
Definitely.
the crew. So, I don't know why the fuck. I don't want Denzel Washington. He doesn't know
I
about the
think
crew.
you care more than most people.
But Cleveland Knights care about their sports teams a lot
They do.
and their tradition
they care
of the
about
city.
the looks of their. They appear to care about their team.
Hey,
Go Guardians. That rolls off nicely. Go Guardians. Go.
you know what?
Go
The thing
Nurse.
they should look forward to the most is that they are now undefeated against the Reds. Well, next year they will be.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
They're
all these
undefeated
bad
in
records.
general.
Yeah, all these bad records. They can just put them out the window, and they're
All the good ones, too, gone.
yeah.
There are a lot of those, too.
I don't remember them.
Okay. Seems selective.
Which just I wasn't born in 1800s.
They've had recent success as well. Quite a lot of it, actually.
I don't know. None of the fans showed up, so I didn't see it.
I was actually there for some reason. Speaking of the Reds, the Mariners.
Yeah,
It's pretty good, right?
that's pretty bad.
Oh.
I need to teach you about segues.
Speaking of
We'll do it on
segues,
podcast.
we'll talk about it on the podcast. Mariners have been crushing it this week for no reason. They're in the same spot they were in. 6 games out of first, but they had a huge series against the Athletics, who they are now 1 game behind. They won 3 of 4 this last week, which is fucking awesome. But most importantly, did you see this game the other night against the Astros?
No.
Dude, so I don't pay attention to baseball, and I didn't watch the game for just so everyone's clear. I didn't watch the football game or the
Right.
baseball game, as you can tell. They were down 0-7. Don't know what inning. Doesn't matter. It was late though. It was pretty late. 0-7, and Astros fans had their asterisk jerseys on, which are kind of funny. But they were shitting on Mariners fans. They were just, the tweets were miserable against, oh, you guys are fucking trash, blah, 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 blah. Just shitting on them. Mariners come back to win 11-8. And I think it's in like the last 3 innings. And it was fucking awesome to watch the meltdown on Twitter of Astros fans. I don't even give a shit about the Astros. I just liked that interaction.
I hear you.
And the fact
Houston,
that
we have a problem.
Houston, We have a problem by Luke Combs. No, but they've been doing incredible. They're still 6 games out of first, though. But they're 1 game behind the A's, and they've just been doing really well lately. The Guardians are...
They're the Indians still.
The Guardians are 4-6 in their last 10 games. They're 9.5 games out of first behind the White Sox. That just seems like a losing battle. And holding a decent lead on the rest of... Well, holding second place well from the other teams.
That doesn't even go in effect till next year.
So that's all I'll talk about the Guardians.
Now you're doing a reverse of what you got at me for when I said they're the Cleveland baseball team. The Reds, last time we talked, were 48.
Mariners traded Kendall Graveman to the Astros. That just happened.
Houston would have a problem. By Luke Combs. That's the most well-known thing Houston would have problems from. The Reds, last time we talked, were 48-46, 7.5 out from the Brewers, which is a terrible baseball team name.
Yeah, I would rather have the Guardians than the Brewers.
And they are now 51-49 and 7 games back. So they made a half-game jump there, but still over 500 and still a decent way back. So sad day for us Reds fans. Some Red news I didn't talk about last week. Michael Lorenzen hadn't played a game this year. He's a decent relief pitcher, which is rare for the Reds I talked about in here. That's their biggest fall.
Yeah.
And he came back, I think it would have been a week and a half ago, and pitched 1 inning and got hurt and hasn't been back since.
Sweet.
And you should look this guy up. I think you would like him a lot. He has a really good story. He's a pitcher, and he's also a good hitter. Not like
the one guy we talked about?
Yeah, nothing like that, but good for a pitcher. And it was 2 seasons ago, his dad passed away, and he hit a home run that game.
Nice.
So he also seems like the most down-to-earth guy, which there's definitely some Red players that aren't. So kind of fucked up to happen to him. The game after the All-Star break, Nick Castellanos, somebody we talked about on here many times, one of the Reds' best players, if not the best. The game after the All-Star break, he got hurt and is on the injured list now.
Nice.
With a wrist. It's cut off there, but microfraction. There we go.
Literally, okay.
So, not good. I don't think he's came back since. Something cool with him, his son, I think he's like 8 years old, drew a shirt of his dad. I'll show it to you. And made it for him to wear.
That's awesome.
And the Reds actually started selling in their team shop, and then all the money goes to charity. So, yeah, I thought that was really cool. And
Did you buy one?
I haven't yet. I want to, except that they're not going to sell them very long.
Yeah.
And they have a cool video of his son running through the shop and seeing it and freaking out. So, yeah, I thought that was really cool. Let's see. The trade deadline for MLB is July 30th, so creeping up fast here. The Reds haven't made a single move, and there's no reports of them going after relievers, so it could be real bad. Hopefully it happens fast here because they need it badly.
Yeah, a couple days.
Yeah. Joey Votto has hit 3 home runs in 3 days. A lot of people thought he's washed up for about 3 years now for some reason, even though he keeps playing well. And then we talked on here weeks ago. I don't know if you remember this one. It was early episodes, maybe even way back in the Brohawks days. Do you remember those days?
Barely.
The old studio and everything. We didn't even have a studio yet, remember?
Yeah, I remember that. It was just us in the
basement.
Just worn down.
Yeah. But we talked about Amir Garrett getting suspended from the Reds. This was after Nick Castellanos got suspended. And as I showed you the video, it was after he pitched and he looked towards the Cubs dugout and started yelling stuff at him. This is the one where I told you Reds fans said he was just hyped up. But even as a Reds fan, I was like, no, he's clearly talking shit to him. And then their players jumped over the railing and tried to start a fight, and he was the only one who got suspended. So, yesterday's game, the Reds were winning. And wouldn't you know it, the last 2 innings they blew it. And Amir Garrett was the one to give the last home run to Javier Baez, which was the dude who jumped over the railing. And this motherfucker, when he hits the home run, does the most ridiculous celebration I've ever seen. And I don't know how to describe it. I almost had to show you. And then he flings his bat towards Amir Garrett. And then his teammates literally had to force him to go around the bags because you have to touch them even if it's
Yeah.
and it's like a whole process. And I feel like he's not gonna get suspended for it, which I think is real fucked up.
For what?
Because, and you said it yourself, you're like, well, yeah, that makes sense. That Amir Garrett got suspended last time because he's the one that initiated it, and this guy could have caused a all-out fucking brawl with what he did.
Did he say anything? Or was
Oh
it just
yeah,
a
he was.
bat flip?
No, I would have to show you the video. He's screaming. He's looking right at Amir Garrett and screaming at him and like pulling on his own jersey. And
Isn't it
doing,
a rule you can't talk to the bullpen though? Isn't that a rule? Like you can talk shit player to player, right? But you can't talk to the bullpen.
No, I mean, you're not supposed to say anything. I know players do, but you're not supposed to say anything disrespectful.
Okay.
And you're supposed to
He's
definitely
not going to get any suspension.
No, I don't think so either. I need to show you the video because it's way worse than Amir Garrett's, and I think he's not going to get shit for it.
Definitely not.
And it was nuts. I haven't seen anything like this in baseball in all my time watching it.
Sounds awesome. As a non-Reds fan, it sounds like everything you want in like a two people hating each other type of thing.
Yeah, I'm not even a Amir Garrett fan. Like I said, you heard me say last time when Reds fans were defending it, and he also, aside from not seeming like the best guy, is not the best pitcher. He keeps fucking this up for the Reds and giving up home runs, and should be pretty vital, but doing the complete opposite. But I think I already thought it was ridiculous when he got called for it. But if you're gonna call that, you at least need to call it consistently at the minimum. So if he got suspended, then you can't just be like, well, no, this was just excitement, or well, he was just reacting to what he did, because that means the Reds could have just went all out brawl and started punching him, and well, he started it.
Yeah, I feel like more would have happened if maybe the bullpen charged or something.
I think then they probably would have got suspended because I think that's so. Yeah, which I think is fucked up. Yeah, we'll update if it does, but I think you're right.
We'll talk
sadly,
about it on the podcast.
You like saying that?
Yeah, it should be on a shirt.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea.
Thanks, man. It's my idea.
That's
here by me.
Wow, you're a hero. You know that?
A lot of people say that. Enrique Iglesias wrote a song about me.
Really?
Well, like from my perspective, called "I Can Be Your Hero."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Should we get into hockey?
Yeah, let's do it. I know you have a lot to say about it.
I do. Do you want to go first?
I mean, I don't have a lot to say about it. The expansion, the draft happened, and the expansion draft, right?
Yep.
Kraken got some guys. I don't know any of them from either the expansion or the real draft, so doesn't matter to me. I do know they went on it as a strategic mindset of financial stability to work for the future, and not so much a let's get the best players to win this season mindset, which I don't know if that's the right call. It seems to make more sense as like a organization, like the long-term success over short-term. I mean, if you have an opportunity to just kind of win one now, I feel like you maybe should. But if you're trying to be successful long-term, I guess this makes sense. So, do I name all the players? Like, does it? Like, how do you want to do this? Because I don't think anybody knows who these people are. You can look it up if you want. The expansion draft for the Kraken. I'm gonna buy one of the jerseys. I don't know who yet. I was gonna get the Blue Jackets guy, but as you told me,
yeah, he's. I forgot this guy existed. I'm not trying
that
to
has nothing to
be
do
a
with
hater,
me now.
but
Well, they also drafted. What does F mean? Forward.
yeah,
There's fucking 20 of them. So I'm assuming there's more than one on the ice at the same time. Two,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, you usually have two forwards. So
they got a million of them. So I'm assuming this guy will just be depth. So I don't know. And then they have the real draft, and then there's still free agency. So I'm hoping maybe if they want to do the big name splashes, maybe free agency will be there time for that. But I don't know anybody from this. So, but I mean, it's exciting because the Kraken have a team. That's exciting to me. I actually felt excitement. I watched a little bit of it, the expansion draft.
Macklemore was there.
Macklemore was there.
I turned on for like a second. I was like, what the fuck? This is the one guy said
Yeah.
and he is there.
Marshawn Lynch, we don't have to talk about him because you hate him. Most importantly, he had a Kraken hat that isn't for sale anywhere. It's an all black hat, but the Kraken is just like a little S, like in the bottom left corner. I was like, where the fuck is that hat at? Because I want it. And it's not sold. And also, he was pretty tame. So, all the guys seem excited to be in Seattle, so I don't really know. I don't know. So I don't know how to get excited about this because I don't know any of the players. It's like it's just all so new. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna be excited that they have a team. Be excited the season's coming up in October. Let it play out. I'm sure they won't be the best team, which is fine. It's kind of exciting to. Hopefully, they're not bad. I'm assuming they won't be bad. It'll be exciting to root for them from the start, whether they're good or bad. So, I mean, I know of more hockey news and other teams, but I know you have all that. So maybe I can just let you rip them, and we'll just chit chat about them.
Okay.
So that's all I got.
Okay, I'm gonna have some commentary on that. I know you said that you're sure I'm gonna be a hater, but I told you I'm not just gonna boo him every time you say that now. But I am gonna judge things fairly. I don't know what the hell they were doing. I told you I was already hating them, and I was they're just gonna get a loaded lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what you're saying about they're taking a different approach than Las Vegas did. But even if I think that is a weird approach because even though I hate the setup, the fact that you would pass on that opportunity when you're given it seems crazy.
I feel like
me.
they didn't really have that big of an opportunity. There weren't that many people who were super healthy, or didn't have major fucking contracts available.
Well, that's the thing. I think you could have taken on at least a couple major contracts. And Carey Price, everybody's talking about how that injury probably isn't real. They did that to keep him away, and that was a starting goalie in the fucking Stanley Cup, and it wasn't like that wasn't a fluke. He's been a really good goalie for a long time, and that's exactly what Las Vegas did. They got Marc-Andre Fleury, and then they went on to multiple.
Well, that's why what I'm hearing is they're stacking up. They pick players, they're trading them away. I don't have all those in here, but they have people, they're trading them, they're acquiring more picks for the future, and I feel like they're going to make their big splashes in free agency and with trades. That's what I'm hearing. So I get what you're saying, though. Like, if you have the opportunity, I want to take it, but I don't know.
Yeah, and then even if you are going to take the approach of getting younger players and like building up an organization, I still think they handle it really weird. You know how much I like the NHL, and I've only heard a couple of these players, and maybe you could say that that's because a lot of them are young and they're prospects. But the guy that got from the Blue Jackets, I forgot he was on the team, and like I said, I assumed it was a gimme that it was Max Domi, but he is older, so if that's the approach you're taking, maybe you don't. Well, he's older-ish. Could be good for the next 7 years if he stays healthy. So it's not like somebody that's like way over. He's like 26 or 7.
No.
But then they took somebody that is 27 and has only played 20 games in the NHL career from the Blue Jackets, that is. And he's also a free agent this year, so they're already going to have to sign him. And then the Blue Jackets had so many young players that were way better prospects, so I just don't know.
Maybe to other people that are better prospects. Every team has their own way of recruiting and scouting, and I just feel like we can't judge it until we see it play out.
Obviously, as far as the end product, we don't know, but I think you can definitely judge what's there. That'd be like if a new NFL team started up, you would know, like the teams, if they picked from every team, you would know if that team on paper should be good or not. And
yeah,
I feel like, obviously chemistry is a big thing. That's why I like the Yankees should be a gimme every year because they have the biggest salary cap. But you need chemistry and players to work together.
Mm-hmm.
So that remains to be seen. And also, a lot of these players are young, so maybe something does happen. But I think on paper, they look to be one of the worst teams, which is something that I didn't think possible.
Right, yeah. For now, I'm waiting for free agency. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
and trades and stuff.
Yeah, it really caught me off guard. I couldn't believe it, and that seems to be the common thing, not just the Blue Jackets fan and like the player they took. That seems to be the approach that I've heard every other NHL fan talk about, how they can't believe they didn't steal this player and they can't believe they didn't take this player. So
it's a good thing we aren't GMs.
Oh, I mean, I think, like I said, this is a sports podcast. We talk and theorize about what we think. I don't think you can take that approach that we're not GMs and they know better. GMs have made horrendous decisions and gotten fired. And
they've also taken huge risks.
It can be a good outcome. I'm not saying they're destined to be bad, and I didn't think so, but there was some people that thought Las Vegas would be bad. So just because people are saying that doesn't mean that will be the case. And like I said, big part of it is chemistry and how teams work. But I think you can definitely judge things. Yeah. I think you can definitely judge things on paper and what you see and what you do know. And from what
That's
I
what-
see. I
That's what I'm
think.
saying. Yeah. You
Yeah.
totally can. I'm just wait for free agency and got a little while till the season starts. So yeah, I'm just excited there's a team. I don't care if they're good or bad. They don't need to be the best team, especially if it doesn't make financially for long-term success. If you want to set yourself up for the future to maybe be like super good long-term, rack up draft picks now, have cap. I don't know. Maybe future prospects look better. I don't know. Maybe free agency will look better in a couple of years. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope so. The Blue Jackets.
And they'll have more firing power if that is the case.
Yeah, it's gonna go one of two ways because they could build it like that and it could end up working. But that's why I said that's why Las Vegas was so fucking annoying because they got it handed to them. And if you do it wrong, it can put you in a hole for a long time. And that's what happened with the Blue Jackets. They didn't have nearly as good selection as we talked about, and then they also made some bad moves themselves. So if you don't pick the right players, it can fuck you over for a long time.
Yeah. We'll see.
Speaking of Blue Jackets, I went to the Nhl Draft party in Columbus. The draft wasn't here, but there was probably over 5,000 fans there. It was free to get in, but I didn't expect that many people there. It was really cool. And they had like 3 reporters at different sites of like NHL draft parties, and one was in Columbus. So ESPN's national broadcast kept showing Columbus, which was cool. But as we were in line, I was talking to my sister, and I was like, so Seth Jones going to get traded? And then they breaking news and put up on the Jumbotron. No fucking way. And they traded Seth Jones to the Chicago Blackhawks, where his brother was traded to, as we talked on here before. And the Blackhawks got Seth Jones and the 32nd pick, which is the first round from the Blue Jackets, and it just deleted again.
How is that happening accidentally?
I don't know.
Do you have to hit like multiple buttons?
You should have to.
Okay.
I brought it back though. And 2022's 6th round pick from the Blue Jackets. And the Blue Jackets got Adam Boyquist and the 12th and 44th pick in this draft, which was a 1st and 2nd rounder, and a 1st round in next year's draft. So 2 1st round picks, a 2nd round pick, and Adam Boyquist for Seth Jones, and a 1st round pick and a 6th round pick next year. So this one sucks because I like Seth Jones, and he definitely has all the talent. Like I said, his numbers have dipped the past couple of years. It's hard to tell if that's going to be his career or just something was happening. So that is a question mark there. But like I said, the Blue Jackets, I said it before they trade him. I can't blame them if they trade him. You can't have another scenario where you have a top-end player and hope that he resigns, and especially a player that says he's going to test the market, so more than likely isn't going to resign.
Yeah.
And then get nothing for him. So a lot of people are upset because he is a likable player and he has been so good. But getting 2 1st-round picks, and the guy they got, Adam Boyquist, was the 1st-round pick by the Blackhawks 2 years ago. I think he's the 8th pick overall. So you essentially got 3 1st-round picks, and one of them already has experience. And the 2nd-round pick as well. So I think that's, again, really impressive. Like I said, Jarmo Kekalainen and John Davison, I think, deserve all the credit for getting these trades out. I don't think there should have been any kind of that much of a return for somebody like him, especially because, I don't know if you heard, he limited it to 5 teams that he would get traded to. So they only had 5 teams to work with and managed to get this much out of it, which is, I think, makes it all more impressive. His contract, you had it up there. Is that what you're looking at?
7 years, $9.5 million average.
Yeah, that's what that part got deleted. Yeah, so that's the other thing is that is a fucking massive contract. I think Chicago is going to regret in the long term, and they're going to eventually, I'd imagine, trade him, because that is, even if he can play as highest tier, which I think that's in question, that is a fucking massive contract. So the Blue Jackets can't spend that kind of money on a player like him. So I think it makes the trade that much better.
If I don't know a lot about hockey, obviously, but I feel like that's not that crazy of like one team got fleeced, right? It's just like, oh yeah, that seems like a pretty good trade both ways for both of them.
Yeah, I think it's good all around. A lot of people are saying Chicago did get. They're actually saying fleeced is
That's
the
what
word.
the word that I always use for some reason.
Yeah. I thought it was more even than most people do. I just think that contract is what makes it way worse for Chicago,
Yeah.
not necessarily the trade, but I guess
big contract.
you do have to kind of work that into the trade because that trade wouldn't happen unless he signed that contract. So I guess it was part of the trade. So maybe that's what people are reacting more so to. And then they drafted players that night. Obviously, it was the NHL draft. I'm not gonna. The expansion draft, I do know these players, so I can judge that more. The NHL draft, I know a name here and there, or players that played for Ohio State or people played against Ohio State that I've gone to, but a lot of these players aren't even from
Do you
American
know the number
colleges.
2 guy for the Kraken? This Matt Brinny's guy?
I didn't know him, and I was gonna
freaked out about that.
mock that because he's from Michigan, as you made fun of, but then the Blue Jackets took somebody from Michigan with their first pick.
A lot of people went from Michigan.
Yeah, it was the most of us went in the first round, and they all went in like the top 10.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. It sucks, but Ohio State's been really good at hockey the past 10 years, but Michigan's consistently good at hockey, so it makes sense. But Kent Johnson was their first pick. I'm not going to go over all of them, but that was a guy from Michigan. His highlights looked really impressive, but the thing with the NHL draft is these players are so fucking young that it's so long until they end up playing the NHL, and it's so hard to. It's not like the NFL draft where if you get those first round picks, then you're going to be potentially a top team next year or something.
Yeah.
So Blue Jackets stockpiling these is definitely different than would be in the NFL. Their second first round pick, Cole Sillinger, his dad used to play for the Blue Jackets, Mike Sillinger, and that's obviously not why they took him with the 12th pick. He's a high-end prospect. It's just a cool tie-in to have there. He was born in Columbus. And so with the NHL draft, I more so look at the highlights and I'm like, oh, that looked exciting. But then I usually do not trust the experts, but I look at what they say because I'm like, these people have actually scout them and know what they're doing and know what their high end could be, even if they don't match it. And most of the experts are saying the Blue Jays have one of the better drafts, so I'm like, I hope you're right. That also, even with them, seem like they know what they should talk about. They don't always know either.
I feel like they're wrong more than not.
Yeah, the Blue Jays got mocked like crazy. I think 4 drafts ago for not taking like the obvious player, and that player is struggling to stay in the NHL right now. And the Blue Jays took Pierre-Luc Dubois, which unfortunately isn't with the Blue Jackets, but a very good player, even though. And you can go back and watch the coverage of that. They're literally laughing at him. You don't take this guy, and they're all like mocking him. And,
I know all about mocking drafts. Seahawks have a historically incredible draft from 2012 to really 2010 to 2013, and those were all Fs and laughed at. So I know a lot about mock drafts.
Yeah, and the Blue Jackets have, at least in recent history, seem to know what they're doing. So some of their more questionable picks I kind of trust because it seems like their scouts know something.
Smart.
Yeah, before the Blue Jackets had so many bust picks, it was hard to trust that. So when they reached or somebody's like, this seems like a questionable pick, then I was like, yeah, this probably is. I think also a bigger issue for the Blue Jackets is they were so bad that those players might not necessarily have been bad. They just got rushed up and had to play in the NHL way sooner than they should have, that they kind of fucked up their careers, which is going back to the expansion draft, because if they were set up good, then they wouldn't have had to rush those players up like that. But then, so we do the NHL draft. That was the first round is all they did that night. And then we go home, I wake up to a message from my sister that said, what is happening? And it was a link to the Blue Jackets trading Cam Atkinson. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was kind of half waking up. I was like, this is fake, and I started clicking on it, and then went to the Blue Jackets account, and I was like, oh shit, this is real.
It's pretty weird when people are getting traded that I've heard of.
Yeah,
that's when I'm like, well, that's weird.
Yeah, this one was way out of the blue. It was, I think, so I'm gonna break it down a couple ways here. So Cam Atkinson's been with the Blue Jackets for a long time too, and him and Nick Foligno kind of like 1A, 1B, I think are like the prime examples of what Columbus strives to be and the team they want to be, like hard-nosed and gritty, and but also really likable and do a crazy amount in the community and off the ice. So I think it sucks losing that no matter the skill aside, but then he is a very talented player. And I think what was real fucked up about this is that they had him at the NHL draft party. They had a few players there, and he was signing autographs for hours and taking pictures even past when he was supposed to. And he was super nice and did it for everybody that was asking. And they talked to him about Seth Jones getting traded, and he's like, I just figured out about when you guys did, and he's like, that's one of my best friends, but you gotta do what you gotta do. It's a business. And then I wake up to that text of him being traded, and I was like, that seems...
That's the business.
Yeah,
sucks.
I mean, it is a business, but I think that gets thrown around too much. Like I said, I got to play both ways. I complain about Blue Jacket players wanting to leave Columbus and talk about they need to be loyal and how they don't stick with them. So I can't just defend the Blue Jackets just because I'm Blue Jacket fans. That it is a business and you have to make the right moves. But the Blue Jackets, we'll talk about what they got here in a second. I think it's a more fair trade than people are letting on, all emotions aside. But it wasn't like they had like the steal trade of the century. They didn't get 2 Hall of Famers and first round picks. It's like an even trade at best. So this wasn't something they're like, shit, we can't help ourselves. So I think this is something that you should have been able to avoid or not had him there the night before. I think you had some inkling. This didn't seem like something that you couldn't pass up. It didn't seem like that kind of trade.
Unless it did, just come up the next day. Like it's like a total real possibility.
That's possible. I just think if it did, I guess it's a business move, but I just think it's not that clear cut of a great trade that I'd be like, okay, we preach about players needing to commit to Columbus and how we don't want players that don't want to be here, and then you have somebody that couldn't be more committed besides, like I said, maybe Nick Foligno, A1, 1B, that wants to be here, and then you're like, well, we got a little better of a trade. Let's get rid of him. So I think it's hard to preach that, and then when somebody's doing that, you get rid of them. And to make it more fucked up, his son's 3rd birthday was that day, the next day after the draft, so he said that he was celebrating with his kid, and he got the call that he got traded, and he had to stop the party midway through. And I was like, man, this is all so fucked up. Like I said, I'm a Blue Jackets fan, but I think you have to judge things fairly. If I'm going to preach about players not wanting to be here, I think you have to call the team out on that. And it's not the fans saying that. The team has countless videos. The management talks about how they don't want players unless they want to be in Columbus. So when you have somebody that can be more committed to Columbus and you get rid of them, I think you're kind of asking for those kind of players to be around. You know?
Yeah. I think emotion should be out of business decisions. Like I don't think any of that matters. If they like the trade of what they got more, then they should do it. If they like what they got more than Nick Foligno, or not Nick Foligno, Cam Atkinson, then you should do it.
If you're going to do that, then I definitely don't think you can parade around how you want players that want to be there, and you're getting tired of players wanting to leave. That
you can. You want people to be there for sure, but you also want your business to be successful.
I don't know. I think it's playing both sides. Like I said, I'm a Blue Jackets fan and somebody that can't stand these kind of players, but I think you had to.
No, I don't. Yeah. Okay.
They got Jake Voracek from the Flyers. That was a trade. He used to play for the Blue Jackets, ironically enough. They traded him for Jeff Carter. And Jake Voracek was a player they took him when the Nhl Draft was hosted in Columbus. Okay. So I was at that draft, so it's kind of cool that they got a player. I remember when they traded Jake Voracek to the Flyers for Jeff Carter, which Jeff Carter ended up being a player that didn't want to be here and left after a year and a half. Jake Voracek was putting up decent stats with the Blue Jackets, and he was relatively young, and a lot of people were hating on him. And I was worried because I was like, we've seen this way too many times for a Blue Jackets trade a player, and then they open it up, and he seemed like he was trending the right way, just making dumb mistakes because he was young, not like off the ice, just like plays that you could have done better, which seems to make sense for a young player. So I think he had all the skills to do it, and then he's done that for 10 years now in Philadelphia and put up good stats that I think are comparable with Cam Atkinson. They play a different style. I think that's more what the trade is about, that Cam Atkinson's more of a goal scorer, and Voracek's more of a setup man, and we're going to get to another move they made here in a second with Patrick Laine. He's like the go-to goal scorer, so I think that's why they made the trade for the setup.
That makes sense.
So it's cool getting somebody back that I think did also want to be in Columbus, and I think kind of got the short end of the stick, and another player that traded for a player that didn't want to be in Columbus and left anyways. So it's cool having him come back, and so let's see here. Voracek's cap is $8.25 million, and Cam Atkinson's is $5.8 million, but Cam Atkinson is signed for 4 more years, and Voracek is signed for 3 more years. So Voracek's deal ended up actually being less money overall, is what I think is also part of the trade, is that they're trying to clear up cap room, because Patrick Laine, who I talked about before, signed his 1-year qualifier, which gave him $7.5 million. And it's just a 1-year deal, but he'll be a restricted free agent at the end of that. And then he can sign another 1-year qualifier, but then it'll make him an unrestricted free agent after that season. So the idea, at least in theory, we'll see what happens, because we know the Blue Jackets work with this kind of stuff. But he can be like a top-end NHL player, so they're going to try and sign him long-term, is why they signed the qualifier to...
That makes sense. It's like a franchise tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if they don't sign him to that and he signs another qualifier, that's going to be real bad news.
Yeah, that sounds like a waste of money and time.
And I think that means he's just destined for another unrestricted free agent potential trade, and then we're just in this whole fucking loop again. Money. Yeah.
That all makes sense to me. If there's a cap issue, they want to go a different style than they were. That all makes sense to me. Outsider, at least has answers, things you can physically point to. Like, okay, it's not that nuts to do.
Oh, yeah, like I said, I'm definitely more even. And it's funny, the Blue Jacket fans, the consistence that you see is Blue Jacket fans are pissed off, and there's so many that saying they're never going to go a game again. They cancel their season tickets.
They'll be there.
Yeah, I was going to say, those are going to be the people that are stealing tickets away from me and can't wait to be there.
Yeah.
And the extra funny thing is, everybody's saying that and on the Cam Atkinson trade, and then you go to Philadelphia's page where they trade Jake Voracek. Yeah, and they're like, I'm canceling my season tickets. Wait, so is anybody going to NHL game?
Those are like the 50 people that are just loud. Everyone else is like, oh, cool, whatever. That sucks. I like Cam Atkinson, or that sucks. I liked Russian name. We'll see how it goes. The normal fans will just be normal fans. Just a loud, fucking obnoxious minority.
Yeah.
I'm boycotting the NFL. I'm canceling my season tickets to the Blue Jackets.
No, you're not. You're going to watch it every Sunday. You're going to watch it every Blue Jackets game. You're going to fucking shut up and watch your football, watch your hockey.
Oh, the Indians changed their name. I'm a Reds fan.
No, you're not.
No, please don't do that.
That's what a lot of them are doing.
Yeah, I don't want them.
They won't be there. They'll be watching the Guardians games.
Well, they won't. Even if they do switch over, they won't be there. They don't go to games.
It's usually pretty packed there. I've been to a lot of them.
I'm going to show you the stats. It's crazy.
You can. I've been there with my eyes.
I'll show you. It's nuts.
I don't need to see them. I've been there.
You said I can.
Yeah, I don't want to, though. I believe you. I've never not believed you. I've just been there. I've been to Reds games in Reds Field. I've been to Indians in Indians Field.
It sounded like you didn't believe me. You said, I've been there. It's crazy.
No, we've brought this up a couple times, a couple podcasts, and I've said, I believe you. I'm just letting you know. Like, I've been there.
You must have just got some lucky games then, because
I've been to games that just don't matter. They're not.
I'm saying lucky as far as attendance, because traditionally they have one of the worst in the league.
Yeah,
as far as attendance.
It's been fine. Ones I've been to.
Yeah, you're a lucky dog.
Yeah. Sure.
So the Blue Jackets, it'll be interesting to see what they do. They stockpiled the first round picks. It went way younger. So a lot of people are thinking complete rebuild, which was a debate a while ago, if you remember. I'm wondering, I think that's still to be told or not, because I think Voracek, like I said, does make sense for the current style. I don't think they're just going all in on a rebuild. But they are making some odd moves and going way younger for a team that's already relatively young. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle it. I think the biggest tell for that will be in free agency, which opens up here July 28th, tomorrow. The rumors the players are taking are mostly players that are very low names. So they're either saving money or they are getting young players, and I think that would be more of a sign of a complete
rebuild.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens once free agency opens. I still think they have a roster that before they started being good this past decade, the Blue Jacket fans would fucking lose their minds over if you go back in time. I just think it's because we're so used to being good now that people have a different expectation.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you just look at the roster on paper, I think it can stand with most of the teams. Not in all positions, but just all around. Long-time Blue Jacket player and Avalanche player for the past couple of years, Matt Calvert, retired. So what do you do for that? Jazz hands? Okay.
It's the only answer, usually.
He's an awesome guy. Played for the best two teams in the NHL, so my guy.
The Kraken and the Kraken.
There you go. A crazy trade happened not long before I started this podcast. I mentioned Marc-Andre Fleury not that long ago and what he's done with the Golden Knights. He has been traded to Chicago. Nobody knows what Chicago gave up. But the shitty part is that he said he hasn't heard from the team that he got traded. He just figured out online. So he said he's traded, but he doesn't know what's happening with it.
Sweet.
So, fuck Chicago.
Also, fuck the Golden Knights, it sounds like.
That's what I meant to say, but I hate Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah, fuck Las Vegas and the main there.
That's so weird. Oh shit! Someone call the guy. He's got to go to Chicago.
Especially somebody that has turned your franchise not around because you weren't existing, but turned you into
started your franchise.
Fucking relevant. Yeah. So fucking weird, and I don't know why they would really trade him, but I guess we'll figure out what they got for him.
Probably a lot.
Yeah, he is like 36, so he's getting real old. He might not play much longer. But the crazy thing is he just put up his best stats of his entire career this past season at his highest age. So,
fuck it, might keep playing.
Yeah.
Is Bobrovsky still a thing?
Yeah, he is. He plays for Florida. He didn't do good last year, which is another thing the Blue Jackets, I didn't get lucky on because they made that move, but they tried to offer him a contract, and he took something way bigger with Florida, and thank God he did because they would have been fucked.
Yeah, I don't get what everyone was like. Bobrovsky's the best. I feel like he had really good games, and he had like really shitty games, and I guess now he's just really shitty.
Yeah, I mean that's part of goalies in general. They're streaky, and the good games are going to look amazing, and the ones that are really bad are going to stand out. He was a little more streaky than others, and his biggest thing was he struggled in the postseason, which was when you needed him most. Because aside from that, he had multiple. He had multiple Vezina trophies, which is the goalie of the year. So, yeah, it's undeniable the skill he had, but he just lacked consistency.
Did not like a cool name.
I think that's all I have for sports. Do you have anything?
There's a tweet by, I think they're called Season, SZN. Let me confirm that if you go like and retweet.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. And they're committing to this, by the way. The SZN app. So it's an app. They're a real thing. 60,000 followers. If Trevor Lawrence throws one regular season touchdown pass to Tim Tebow this season, we'll buy every person who likes and retweets this an NFL jersey of their choice.
I saw that. I feel like this happened a couple times, not with them, but I feel like it never follows through.
I mean, might as well do it.
I bet you they don't do it. Like you said.
I bet they word it weird. Like it happens. Like, no. We said if, you know what I mean? So it's probably not going to happen. But just in case you want a free jersey and they do actually do it, I would go do that.
Maybe they buy all those knockoff ones from China where there's wrong numbers and the misspellings.
Fuck it. I'll take it. I'll get a fucking...
Tyler Lockett.
Yeah. And I'll lock it with one T. There was something I was going to mention, but clearly not important.
Do you want to just talk real quick about how Sports Illustrated might be the worst thing on the internet?
I would like to hear your opinion on that, yeah.
Do you ever see their articles come up on Facebook and there's the most clickbaity shit in the world?
I'm convinced that no real people run those anymore. That Sports Illustrated is a thing, but robots just push out these fake ads.
Well, links you to their real articles though, like on their website.
Yeah, but I just feel like they have robots that just make up titles.
They have to because it is fucking nuts. I'm like,
Yeah.
where are you getting this shit from? Sports Illustrated is a
all
massive name.
Promoted. Like, they're not like things I like. So they have to be like bots just making these things up to make traffic happen.
Yeah, I'm not a clickbaity guy because I can tell what is like a trustworthy thing. But the first couple, I was like, oh, Sports Illustrated, that has to be real. But I learned fast. I was like, what the fuck am I reading? And now I kind of just click on for sometimes here and there.
I
for
click on a
enjoyment.
lot of clickbait things. Like, no fucking way. Why are they even trying to? Like, what is it in this article that makes them even able to say that? So I click on them a lot for that. They get my attention. Just from, like, there's no fucking way you're allowed to say that. Did you see this Tom Brady throw into the jugs machine?
No.
So Tom Brady, let me see what you think. This is going around the internet, and there's actual debate on if... You'll see. I'll show you. You got anything to say about that?
The last one seemed a little odd.
They all seemed fucking odd.
You mean
That's
it
the
wouldn't go back
fakest
in?
fucking thing I've ever seen.
Oh no, it wouldn't be in reverse because it's not.
It's a computer animated. He probably threw the ball and they digitally removed it, and then they had one that shot back and they just clipped the images together. A jugs machine is always spinning.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It would be going the wrong way.
B, I'm sure Tom Brady, with enough takes, could hit 3 in a row. I'm sure he could. He's incredible, right? That was it goes up and then changes trajectory to perfectly straight. There's actual debate online if that's real.
We should have a whole podcast of that, like a spoiler cast.
I hate it.
Maybe we
It's
shouldn't.
so fucking fake. Go to Tom Brady's Twitter to see what we're talking about.
Do you think he could kiss 5 of his kids in a row without missing the lips?
I bet he does.
Sure he does. But he doesn't want, not 5 kisses in a row because he probably never lets go.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with the whole Tom Brady thing. He totally changed my mind on him. I just kind of like him.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
me either because I'm kind of realizing I don't really like you all of a sudden.
I've felt that way about you for a while.
Oh, shit. Speaking of me, what do you think about this pizza?
Unlike you, I like this pizza.
I didn't say I dislike it.
No, I don't like you.
No, I guess you meant-
Let's talk about it.
Ugh, why'd you do that? Now it's a 0.
This pizza, I have, I think, one complaint.
Okay.
The crust is kind of bland. That's it. I think because you ordered light sauce, it was a little light on the sauce. I think if there was more of it, it would have been one of the better pizzas I've had in a while. This would be up there with Classic and Eagles, and it would be like really fucking good. So and I know we're supposed to base it on this pizza. So maybe I can just do that, but I can tell this pizza would be a little bit better. Did they say they took off stuff off the top, like the shake? Did they say
they don't do it?
Okay, so this is how it tastes. The crust is the only thing taking it down for me a little bit. Cheese, perfect. There's a good bit of it. It's cooked perfect. It's got a really good quality taste to it. The sauce felt more pasty than anything else, but it was tasty.
Oh, pasty and tasty.
Pasty, tasty.
With Casey.
And Derek. But the crust is kind of bland, which sucks. I don't know what it needs to be not bland. Maybe cornmeal, maybe a little bit of garlic or something. Butter, maybe. Let me pull up my pizza app. This, like I said, a little bit more sauce, something with the crust changing. This would be contender for like top 5, which is pretty crazy. It was really fucking good. I give Eagles a 7.3, which I think should be like a 7.6. To be honest with you, I must have been in a bad mood that day.
I know those.
I've never been in one with you. Classics I don't have on here, but I'm assuming that's like a 7.1, somewhere in there. So what did I just give one? I gave something a 6 something.
6.9, right?
What did I? I give Massey's a 6.9.
I thought.
I like this. I like this one, Massey's. Well, I might have been being generous with Massey's. Oh boy, I don't know if this is a really tough one for me. I don't know if it's in the 7s or not. I'm gonna go 6.7.
6.7.
Which sounds way different than what I was just saying. But like I was trying to think, Eagles, classics, Massey's I don't get very often, but Eagles and classics I get all the fucking time. And there's a reason for that. I don't know if I drive to Reynoldsburg to get this very often. And that's not necessarily a knock on it. It's in fucking Reynoldsburg.
You know what we should do at least once?
What?
Ride there and eat
it there.
Yeah.
I bet it's better. And I'd like to get my own with pepperonis and sauce. But I'm going to say 6.7. This pizza. I bet it could be better. This one here is a 6.7. It needs more sauce and the crust needs something. And it needs some toppings. But this was fucking really good.
It was.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a 1.2.
Yeah, that seems fair. I'm going to change mine. Can I change mine?
Yeah.
0.1.
Oh, can't do that. It's 1 through 8.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. 1.1.
Fair enough. Could just done 1 though.
No even numbers. A really nice Michigan man taught me that.
Oh, no wonder I hated that so much and thought it was douchey. See, I didn't even know it was him, and I fucking hated it. And you can't say nice Michigan man in the same
Well, it's
sentence.
a nice Michigan fan from Boston. Doesn't that make it better?
Yeah. Not nice at all.
He's funny.
Doesn't make you nice, and I don't know if he's
Sure,
funny.
he is.
This pizza is really good, like you said. I'm gonna be copying a lot of things you said, but it's accurate because it was perfectly done how I like my pizza.
Yeah, it's so good.
The cheese is delicious. I don't have issue with the white sauce. Like I said, some of the time I get white sauce and I do think it's too light. This I thought was perfect. I don't have issue with the pastiness. That's usually how I like my sauce.
Mm-hmm.
The crust, I actually don't have an issue like you do. Now that you say that, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't add anything. I think cornmeal, I only really like it on, Massey's, it really sticks out, like the amount. I know other pizzas have it, but I don't even really think about it because it's so light. But I don't think I want that. I definitely want garlic, but the lightest bit of butter. I don't think you want.
Yeah, maybe butter. Yeah. I think butter would really knock this thing out of the park.
And I don't think you want that to be too heavy because I think it'd take away from the cheese and the sauce. But I think a light butter,
Totally
make it a little better.
Yeah.
But for what it is, which is very good, I would say a 7.3.
That's pretty reasonable. Yeah, it is. So that'd be like a 7 average.
Yeah.
It's a really fucking good pizza.
And you got this adorable looking crew knockoff man. I still gotta show you that.
Yeah, I'm still not sure how that relates, but
What kind of looks like a crew man?
with a mustache. A mustache. Vick's Gourmet Pizzeria, Reynoldsburg, Ohio.
Yes. And
Really good pizza.
It's pizza that is, I would say, really good to maybe even really good.
Ooh.
So
I would like to try it fresh. It could be a contender for like a top pizza place for me.
yeah. So I was thinking that it was a good pizza that is good.
Are you just stalling until you get the picture?
Bingo. So here we go.
Speaking of stalling. Oh, just the fucking hat?
And you got the eyes, right? The face.
Oh my god. The hat
Come
is
on.
loosely similar. That's a fucking
come
construction hat. That's a top hat, a bowler hat.
Come on.
It's nothing like it. You just love the crew.
I do, but they also look similar. Come on. Wait.
Oh, that's the wrong podcast.
Pop.
Pop. P.
Pop.
Oh, P.
Pop.
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 P.
Pop.
Oh,
Pop.
P.
Go
Pop. Go Hawks.
Broncos. Welcome to episode 7 of Pigskin Over Pizza.
Is it 7?
Welcome to episode 7 of Pigskin Over Pizza, the show where we talk about...
Is it 7?
It is.
Okay, go ahead.
That's why I said 7 2 times, not for a third.
I thought it was last time. Last week was 7.
No,
my
6
bad.
was...
I'm so sorry. I thought last week was 7.